is going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell, and do the Miami Heat have a legitimate chance at going out and getting Donovan Mitchell via trade this offseason? We're going to break down all the moving parts right now on this episode of Heat Digest, so let's get to it. So, where is Donovan Mitchell's extension? Now, I know before you jump to the comments, you pause my video, and you jump in the comments, and you beat me up because July 6th is the deadline. You guys think I don't know that. I am fully aware of it, I promise. Now, this is why I'm saying that quickly before we get into everything else. Example A, Pascal Siakam agreed to a contract extension with the Indiana Pacers just, 2 days ago. Got paid, got the money he deserved because he was the difference maker for Indiana after he was traded to them from the Toronto Raptors at the halfway point of this NBA season. Another example, Malik Monk, he should have won the Sixth Man of the Year. I will die on that hill, but once again, the runner-up to the Sixth Man of the Year also agrees to a contract extension with his respective team, the Sacramento Kings. So, why am I using these as examples? Well, because Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers are yet to make anything public. We don't know anything besides the fact that there's a chance if he does get an extension, there's going to be a player option involved in it. We don't know anything else, and that is speculation in its own. So again, what is going on with Donovan Mitchell? Why has he not really agreed to a contract extension, not sign one? I know we have not met the July 6th date deadline that we are all looking for, as it's going to be a fireworks show if it's not one just before that. But again, it's June 21st. We have 5 days until the first round of the NBA draft. We need to know who's on whose team, at least in the sense of these big-name all-star level players. And obviously, this could be a long, play-it-by-year type of offseason. Absolutely. But once again, if you were Cleveland, just imagine you are the GM. You are in the front office of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you have the roster currently as constructed, so many great young pieces, and at the forefront of that front office, at the forefront of your team, is Donovan Mitchell, an all-star level point guard. There's no way, not a point guard, a shooting guard, averaged 26.5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.2 steals, call it 2 steals per game. He 46% from the field, 36.5% from behind the three-point line. He's 6'3". He's only 27 years old. He is in the absolute he's like at the peak of his career. And he's going to be good for a very long time. And whoever gets him, whether he's in Cleveland, whether he's in Miami, New York, Philly, you plug him in anywhere, he's going to be a good player. It doesn't matter if he's number 1, if he's number 1B, if he's number 2, 3 options. It doesn't matter. Obviously, not everything is going to work perfectly, but I promise you Donovan Mitchell's the type of player where he doesn't have to average 30 a game. He can give you 18 to 22 a game. The defense is going to translate. His ability to be calm under pressure, shoot free throws at a high percentage, be the athletic, bouncy guy with big momentum plays under his arms. Like, he's going to be able to get the job done for whatever team he really plays for. Now, where's the question of why hasn't he agreed to an extension coming from? I have to credit none other than Udonis Haslem. Heat lead, shout out to you guys on Twitter. They did post this. I had the clip for it, but we're just going to use this, so no copyright from ESPN. But again, they go on the question, does Udonis Haslem know something about Donovan Mitchell that we don't? And then they go on to use one of his quotes that he mentioned from the screenshot on ESPN 2 days ago, saying, if he was going to stay in Cleveland, then why doesn't he sign the extension? And obviously, we know we cannot sign extensions yet, but you can agree to them. And if you agree to them, what Udonis Haslem went on to say that I have to reiterate because it's such a strong and valid point that everyone needs to understand. If you go out and you are agreeing to a term, you know you want to be in Cleveland. Hypothetically, we're talking for Donovan Mitchell here. You're Donovan Mitchell. You know you want to return to Cleveland next year. You know what's going to happen. They've offered you money for a certain amount of years with a player option. You enjoy the contract they've offered you. Why do you not agree to it? Who cares if it's public, but at least agree to it and allow Cleveland, as an organization, to go out and then play with the house money they have. Understand how important that could be. Pascal Siakam and the Indiana Pacers agree to a contract. What does that mean? Indiana knows how much money for how many years is going to Pascal Siakam. What does that mean? They can go out. They can give other players contract extensions. They can go out and they can make trades for big name players if they know, because they know what they are already have on the books. They know what they can afford bringing back in, obviously, because they know what's going to Pascal on July 6th when that deadline is met. Malik Monk, another exact example of what I'm referring to. The Sacramento Kings have that money for the amount of years, put it on the side for Malik Monk with his name on it. The only thing is the fact that he has not signed for it. Both sides can't sign for it yet and put it into an actual, like, a position where it's the actual thing where it's actually going on and it's the contract for Malik Monk or Pascal Siakam due to the fact that we haven't hit the deadline of July 6th yet. We know this. But again, why wouldn't Donovan Mitchell go out and say that? Now we have other reports from or about this idea. Now Sam Amico, who we've seen on this account before, he's done a great job covering not only the Donovan Mitchell situation but really the entirety of the NBA offseason up to this point. And he said, sources, Lakers, 76ers, Heat, Rockets, and Nets under impression Donovan Mitchell extending with Cavs. Now, if you click on the picture, like we all know, it takes us to the article. Now, the article goes on the open with this. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, Houston Rockets, and Brooklyn Nets are under the impression that Donovan Mitchell is extending with the Cleveland Cavaliers this offseason. Multiple NBA sources told Hoops Wire. Now, it doesn't end there. It gets way better, I promise. The Lakers, Sixers, Heat, Rockets, and Nets had trade packages ready for Mitchell once their respective seasons ended. Sources said, I would do irrational things to see what that trade package looked like if Miami actually had one, like their front office. It wasn't a mock draft, or a mock trade presented by someone on the internet, like Kevin O'Connor or whoever it may be, putting something together to then propose for a team to possibly do. If the front office of the Miami Heat actually had a trade lined up and really drawn up for this Donovan Mitchell situation, I would love to see what that looked like. I couldn't even imagine, based off the mock trades we've broken down in the past, I cannot imagine what that would have looked like. But again, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen trade reports by any team about trades being shut down, rejected, just proposed trades, the possibility of a contract extension for Donovan Mitchell. We need to see something because right now it seems like there's still hope for the rest of the NBA to possibly make a trade for Donovan Mitchell. Nothing has actually happened, which leaves me to think I think I'm on the boat and on the side of the hill that he's possibly closer to being traded, not necessarily to Miami, but to another team in the NBA due to the fact that he hasn't done something along the lines as a Malik Monk or Pascal Siakam. Because now, don't be surprised if you see Indiana or if you see Sacramento go out and make moves before the before the NBA draft, which is just 5 days away. Now, I will say quickly to wrap up this video, maybe a reason that Donovan Mitchell hasn't fully signed or hasn't fully agreed to a contract extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers may be because of the head coaching situation. As we know, they did fire their last season head coach. They're still open to hiring a new head coach in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell. That could mean a lot to Donovan. We don't know how much that's going to play a factor in him possibly re-signing in Cleveland. But again, right now, that seems like the biggest reason he hasn't at least agreed to a contract extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because it seems like it's putting Cleveland behind the 8 ball. And I don't know if Cleveland would sit there very long in knowing that they're going to be able to get Donovan basically at the finish line, rather than just signing something early and knowing that he's going to be there and then playing around that and building your team around that in the offseason, which seems like the smarter thing to do. But again, I don't run a front office, and that was just my take. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think Donovan Mitchell should do what the Pascal Siakams of the world are doing, the Malik Monks of the world are doing, and get a contract agreed to so his team can go out and build around him respectfully and as really appropriately as they possibly can with this much time in the NBA offseason going into the NBA draft? But again, that'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Thank you guys for watching so much. I'll see you guys on the next one.